It's the Braw Cast, and it's JJ. I'm dropping in to give you a little update on the Braw Cast. It's been a few months, I'm well aware of that, since we've actually done the broadcast. So here we are. It's usually we have Billy and it's usually have a guest on or something like that. But it's been so long since we've done a broadcast. I realise it's been a few months now, and the reason is it's just life got in the way. So I've been busy flat out with the business. It's getting busier, which is amazing. And then I've been doing the vlogs every week. We just had a new baby as well, and we had the Broad Beard Moustache Championships. There's just been a lot going on. And then Billy, he's been busy as well. He's got his comedy shows, just his other work that he's doing. So it's been difficult for us to sit down, and plan out the broadcast and get guests as well. Because trying to track down guests is quite tricky to get a time that suits everyone. So that's the transparent part. That's the reason the broadcast has kind of been on a hiatus. So we are back. The reason I'm here just now is Billy's in New York for comedy shows. He's doing some shows over there. So he will be back soon, and we're going to have a meeting next week, sit down, go over everything, how we want the broadcast to go in the future. I think some shows are going to be me interviewing people, some shows are going to be Billy interviewing people, and some shows it might be the two of us interviewing people. And one of the reasons for that is we have the broadcast live event, the second one, coming up in February next year. So, truth be told, I want to get more experience interviewing people. It's just something I've never really been that comfortable with. I'm used to being a guest on the podcast, but like I took the first 8 episodes of the broadcast back when it first started, and then I brought Billy in just because it was out my comfort zone, and I never really had the time to do it. So Billy stepped in and just took the show to new heights. So yeah, want to get that rolling again. And plus I want to get some confidence built up and skills for interviewing people in preparation for the broadcast live in February. Getting on to that, we have a 2-day event next year. I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. In February, we're going to have a 2-day event called the Braw Beard Weekender. We just had the Braw Beard Moustache Championships in February there. It's sold out for the 6th time in a row, which is incredible. So if you came along, I hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope to see you there next year. But next year, we're going to go for 2 nights because I'm aware there's a lot of people travel from all over the world. We had America, Iceland, Germany, Austria, Belgium, France, also the UK, the British Isles. But people travel up on the Thursday or the Friday. So I thought it would be that popular, we'll do a 2-day show. So we're going to have the broadcast live on Friday, the 14th of February at Drygate Brewery, which is going to be, again, a chat show. There's going to be me and Billy on stage as hosts, and we'll have maybe 4 guests, and there'll be some entertainment in there as well. Again, that's one of the things we're going to go over next week with the meeting with Billy. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good fun. And it's going to be a comedy show, entertainment show, that kind of thing. It's going to be a good, fun night. And then the night after, the Saturday the 15th of February, we're going to have the Braw Beard Moustache Championships, the 7th one. So, looking forward to that. So yeah, that's one of the things that's going on. That's the reason for me taking on some of the episodes as well. It's free up Billy, give him some time because he's busy with other stuff as well, but also build up my confidence for interviewing people, that kind of thing. So we've got that. What else is going on? We have new products on the way as well at Braw Beard. We've got new products on the way. We've got expecting a sample next week of a new product, which I'm excited to release. I'm not going to give any updates here at the moment. I like to do that through the vlog. So if you follow Braw Beard on YouTube, you'll see the vlogs that I put out every week. So I'll be putting updates in the vlog. So if you want to go and check them out, head over there. So there's the new products coming. We're doing the Weekender in February. We just released the new t-shirts. We've got the new mystery box out there as well. Mystery box is on the website now, where that's a box that I pack randomly with random stuff that's going to be worth over £150. It doesn't cost that much. It costs £115, but the value inside the box is over 150 quid. And it's a mixture of Braw Beard products, Braw Beard oils, wash, butters, combs, hats. There could be any of that kind of stuff in it, and some collaboration products we've done in the past that aren't available on the website. I might chuck some of them in as well. So yes, it's all go. So another thing about this episode, it's just an update. It's just to let you know what's going on. We've got the broadcast will be coming back. I'm not sure when the exact date will be. I've been speaking to some people for guests as well, but we're just trying to lock in dates because everybody's kind of busy. So I think the episodes with me are going to be kind of more beard related, interviewing bearded guys and talk a bit about beards and stuff. Also talk about the lifestyle and just the person in general. Get some, background on them, some interesting facts, and then the stuff Billy will take will be the usual Billy, just flat out entertainment, and he's got some really interesting guests lined up as well. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool going forward. So I hope you enjoy the broadcast. If you want to check out previous episodes, they're available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all the good places you get your audio, but they're also on YouTube as well. So with this as well, I realised that we have more followers on YouTube and the social channels now. The social media presence has been increasing for the last wee while, which is amazing. So we've got a lot of new followers. So not many people know how the brand started, how Broadbeard started, how it came about. So I just thought I'd maybe share a wee bit of that story just now, because it's an interesting one. If you've got the products, you'll see there's a booklet that goes out with every order that's called The Story So Far. And that's I just try to give updates on what's been happening in the timeline at Broadbeard. So the way it started, I get asked this quite a lot because people, every man and their dog seems to have a beard care brand now or a beard oil brand. Because I don't know, I guess it's a fairly simple product to make, but it's hard to run a business. So it's interesting. It's interesting watching the landscape unfold. But pe- people do ask, like how the brand started, and Broadbeard was the first beard care brand in Scotland. That noise is my printer switching off. So yeah, people do ask how the brand started. Broadbeard was the first beard care brand in Scotland, like I said. The Broadbeard Moustache Championships were the first beard competition in Scotland as well. I started Broadbeard back in 2012, and it all started from breaking my back in a mountain bike crash. So I used to race downhill mountain bikes. I just raced for fun. I wasn't that good. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't that good. But we just done it for fun. Every weekend we'd be out on the mountain bikes, just me and a group of mates. My dad used to race as well, just for a bit of fun as well. He'd come along. So I've been training for this race up in Fort William. If anybody knows the Fort William mountain biking scene, you've got the World Cup track at Nevis Range. So on the side of Annockmore, up at Nevis Range, it's the downhill mountain bike World Cup track. So the race we had entered was the 6 hour endurance race. So the idea of that race was to do as many laps of the World Cup track as you could as possible. So everybody would start in the car park at the bottom. You would cycle up the fire road for maybe a mile or 2 miles. I forget. I think it was a mile. You cycled up the fire road and joined the track just after a big wall ride. And then you cycle down to the bottom as fast as you can, or you race to the bottom as fast as you can. Get on the gondola, jump on the gondola, then you go up and do your loops. Get dropped off at the top and race to the bottom as fast as you can. Back on the gondola, race to the top, come down as fast as you can. Do that as many times as you can in 6 hours. So the reason for cycling up was to separate the pack, because then it just stops a massive queue at the gondola at the bottom. So that was the idea for the race. And I used to race downhill. I really enjoyed it. It was great fun. So we entered this race, but I've been training personally. I've been training for maybe a year before this race. So I probably started training for it in 2010, because the race was in 2011. And yeah, every weekend we're out, maybe Innerleithen or Glentress, get some cardio in, and then sometimes we're up at Nevis Range getting used to the track. So we'd been up there, and this was 2 weeks before the race. So yeah, 2 weeks out from the race, we've been having a good session, a good day, just sessioning the World Cup track, and we got to the bottom, and we were going to call it quits. That was going to be it. We were just thinking, right, that's the day done. We've done like 8 runs. We'll just wrap it at that. But the gondola still had like another half an hour or something open. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go for another. I'll go for another run. We'll go get another practice run in. So there's maybe 6 of us there. And I was like, man, I am banging on a piss. I really need a pee. I'm just going, like, I think I'm going to go to the toilet, and then on the way to the toilet, I was like, nah, just jump on the gondola. You'll be up and down within 20 minutes, and go for a piss then, just in case we missed the gondola. They shut it early. So that's what I've done. Jumped on the gondola, up to the top, set off as normal, set off the start gate as normal. Yeah, battering down the track, and then come to a section, maybe 3/4 of the way down. You've got if anybody knows the track, there's a big wall ride. It used to be the Visit Scotland wall ride. Um, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it's a big wall ride. Go over there. You hit a wee jump into the trees, and now the way the track is now, you go through the trees, you go down to the right, I think, then a bank left, then a jump over the river. It wasn't like that before. But if you know the track and you jump over the river, just as you land and go around the right, there's a big boulder on the right. Just the tape goes around it. That's the one I hit. But when I was doing it, it was over the wall ride, into the trees, jump over into the trees, and then you took a left and then a slight right, and you're through a big rock garden. Like the big boulder rocks you'd bounce over. But it'd been pissing with rain. So going through there, and you get back about the front end washed out on the top of a rock because it was so slippy. The bike was so light because it's bouncing through. The front end washed out, and then it gripped and dug in and spat me over the handlebars, and I went headfirst into that big rock that stayed sitting there. And took the impact through the top of my head, crushed two vertebrae, C7 and T1, broken back. So I remember I could feel it. It was like, I don't have anything kicking about, but it was like, you get those plastic water bottles. It was like, just like not a shaker or anything, like just a normal water bottle. It was like one of them, like taking it empty and just crushed it. That's what that felt like in my back. So I knew something was wrong. I didn't know I broke my back, but I knew like it just wasn't right. So anyway, I was on my hands and knees on the middle of the track. I had been the first one down the track because I was the fastest. So I was coming down. Yeah, I was the one. I was in front, and obviously that happened. I was on my hands and knees. A couple of my friends came around the corner. Then my dad came around the corner, and they knew something was wrong because usually when we crash, you kind of bounce back up. Aye, you might be hurt, but you want to get yourself off the track in case anybody comes down behind you and like crashes into you. So you usually get yourself up off the track and then cry at the side. But I was on my hands and knees, like I couldn't move. So I was there. Everyone came around to stop, obviously a bit panic, and I was just kind of like I could feel my finger. I could wiggle my fingers. I could wiggle my toes. And I thought, well, that's good. I'm not. At least I'm not. Spinal cord's okay. So I could move my toes, could move my feet, and then kind of compose myself for a little bit. And I was like, I reckon I can stand up. So under my instruction, I asked my dad and one of my mates to kind of help me slowly stand to my feet, and I was able to. And then walk to the side of the track, and where I crashed, there was maybe only, I don't know, it wasn't far, man. It was maybe a 15-second walk or something to the fire road. And I thought, at least if I get to the fire road, I can relax a bit more there. Stable ground, it's flat ground. So I done that. I was able to walk to the fire road, which is just a road that's a gap in the trees. It's a fire break, but it's also a place where forestry vehicles can get up the mountain. So made it to the fire road, and I was like, you know what? I reckon I can make it to the bottom of the hill, but I'll cycle down the fire road. So managed to get my leg over the top tube on the bike, sat on the seat, and basically just put my legs. I put one leg on the pedal low and just let my other leg hang, just in case I needed to put it down. But I was just creeping down the hill. Brakes were on, just creeping down the hill. Really stupid in reflection, but anyway, that's how I got to the bottom of the hill. So obviously the gondola had shut by this time. The chairlift had shut. So anyway, we went to the main office, and they were like, "Nah, the medics have left for the day." So I was like, "Okay, cool." They said you need to go to Belford Hospital in Fort William. So I was like, "Cool." And I had my dad's van at the time. He had a toolbox in the back, all the tools for the bike. So I was like, I can't sit in the seat. Just my body was starting to seize up in that position. And I was like, I can't sit in the seat unless someone can lift me into the seat, which isn't really going to happen. Like, I'm a grown adult, you know what I mean? So I thought if I can get in the back of the van and hunch myself over the toolbox, I'll do that. So that's what I done. They loaded the bikes in the van. I was hunched over the toolbox, and my dad drove slowly down to Belford and took me in the hospital. And yeah, the medics were straight over there, cut off my top, the body armor, that kind of stuff. And they asked me to lie down on the bed, and I couldn't lie down. My back had seized up, so I was hunched forward like that, and I just physically couldn't relax. So the muscles had just seized right up. And they gave me, I think it was morphine. I remember getting the cannula in. Is that what you call it, cannula? Direct access into the vein anyway. And they put something in. I think it was morphine. and just slowly my back started to relax, the muscles started to relax, and yeah, lying on the bed, and I got a bollocking from the doctors and the nurses because they say you should have been airlifted. I should have been airlifted off the mountain. But I was like, but then if I got airlifted and it turned out to be a scratch, I would have been a bit embarrassed, and I'd be pissed off that I used those resources just for a bruise. You know what I mean? So yeah, made my own way to the hospital. Had to also got the X-ray, confirmed C7 and T1 were broken or wedge fractures, and had to stay in. But I only stayed in for one night because there was no surgery needed. It was a compression fracture, so it was a case of wearing a neck brace. And they were like, you know, you could stay here for monitoring, but you're as well going home and relaxing in the comfort of your own house. Just don't do anything stupid. Don't drive. Don't ride your bike. Just, and you know, have someone with you at all times. So I was wearing this neck brace, wearing the neck brace for sleeping, that kind of stuff. And I said to the doc, I was like, well, I've got a race in 2 weeks' time. Like, what's the chances? He's like, you are not racing. You are not racing. So, yeah, it's stupid in reflection, but we're here. But that's the other thing, actually, before I get into that. I mentioned I was banging on the piss, right? So, the night I went in, got the x-ray and stuff, and then I got sent up to the ward, just lying in the bed, and the nurse came over, she, like, made sure it was comfy and stuff, and she was like, do you need anything? I was like, yeah, I need a piss. I've been banging on this piss for, like, the last 3 or 4 hours. And she's like, right, I'll bring you a tray. And it was like, a bedpan, but a cardboard one, and it was concealed, but just like a hole in it. So I said, for you drop your William in. So yeah, managed to get that under the covers, have a piss, brimmed it because I'd been holding for so long it was full. Had to like tip it and lean it on the wee table I had at the side. There's like a wee lip goes around the table. Just had to lean it on that. So obviously, so it was the piss was lying at the back, and the doctor came, the nurse came to pick it up, and she's like, right, I'm going to take this away now. And I was like, whoa, be careful with that because it is rimmed with piss. Like, do not spill it. So she was able to tip it up and take it away. So that was that. So yeah, I got discharged on the next day, whatever day that was, I forget. Told not to ride the bike for 6 months, I think it was. Wear a neck brace for sleeping for a month or so, and just wear it out and about if I'm doing anything kind of strenuous. So, and I wasn't to go back to work for a while. I wasn't allowed to drive, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was fine. Went home. Elaine and my dad came pick me up, took me home, and you know I listened to the doctor's orders for maybe a couple of days. And then it started to eat away at me. It's like, man, I want to be racing in a couple of weeks' time. Like I said, I've been training I was training for a year for this race, and it was only at this point maybe 10 days away. I was like, man, I want to go racing. So it was playing in my mind. I never went on the bike up until, in fact, it was a week before my dad was up practicing at Fort William. And I says, look, I'll come up. He drove. I says, I'll come up just in case anything happens to you. At least I've got a phone. Not that I'm going to be able to pick him up because my back's goosed. But if you crash, I'll be able to phone for help. So I went up with him, and he was doing his laps and stuff, and he was smashing it, he was killing it. And then when it came time to finish, he was getting changed in the back of the van. And I was like, Dad, I'm just going to sit on your bike and cycle around the car park. And he's like, yeah, go on you go. Like, I'm an adult, he can't stop me. So he's like, yeah, on you go, on you go. So I was cycling around the car park, just get my legs feeling, just get the feeling in my legs, get them moving, and it felt good. It felt nice to be back on a bike. And I was like, you know what, fuck this. So I went over, I got his helmet from the side of the van, put the helmet on. I says, Dad, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going up the hill. So I cycled up the fire road that I knew we were going to use for the race, cycled up the fire road, back in, and then joined where the wall ride is, just above where I'd previously crashed a week before. And it just dropped in the track there because I knew that's where we'd be starting the race if I was to race. Dropped in, went through the section where I'd crashed the week before, and man, that felt so good making it through clean. I'd made it through clean so many times in that section. I'd never crashed in there before. For the years I'd been racing, and the amount of times I went through that section, I had never crashed until the time I'd done my back. And then getting through it the next time, the week after, it just felt amazing. So that was an achievement. Kind of cruised down the track. Full suspension bike, so we've got suspension on the front, suspension on the back. cruising down the track, just kind of chilling, just feeling good on the bike, and not doing anything stupid. Just chilling, cruising. Got to the bottom, and that was it. Put the bike in the van. I was happy I'd done that. It was just it was an achievement. Um, Still wearing a neck brace, but it was an achievement. So I was happy with that until we kind of got home, and I was like, you know what, that felt pretty good. I reckon I could race next week. My dad was not happy. Neither was Elaine, my wife. She was not happy about me racing. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my bike. I'm going to take my bike. I'm going to take my kit. And I'd entered already. The payment was made. I had my name was on the entry list, all that kind of stuff. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go take the bike. I'll do one lap. So, like I said before, the idea was cycle up that bit I just cycled up, come down, jump on the gondola, the chairlift, take it to the top, cycle down or race down to the bottom, and that's one lap done. And I thought, well, you know what, I'll just do one lap. I'll just do one lap, see how I feel. And if it's sore, if there's any niggles or any pain, I'll stop. So anyway, cycle. So we got there race day. I forget what number I had. I think I was number one. I need to check the photo. It was either number one or 69. I forget. I raced that. I ended up doing that race a couple of times afterwards. And one time I had 69. One time I had number one. I think I was maybe number one for. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, so yeah, got there, signed on and stuff. I'm wearing this neck brace. People are looking at me kind of funny because you can get neck braces to wear for racing. I never had one at this point, but I had the like a kind of foam neck brace, and people are just looking at me like, "What the fuck? Who's this ghetto guy like a foam neck brace?" But anyway, so and I was wearing that all day. It's not like I was wearing it just for the race. I was wearing it all day. I was walking about with it on. So anyway, I signed on, and then the race was due to start at whatever time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing it. So I got my kit on, got the bike out, checked it over, took it over to the starting area because all the bikes, I'm sure for that race, all the bikes were lined up on their side at the side of the road, and you're kind of run over, jump on the bike like a Le Mans start, run over, jump on the bike, cycle up the hill. I'm sure that's what happened for that one. So anyway, done that. Cycling up the race started. Cycling up the hill. My cousin was racing. My dad was racing as well. And I was just like, at least if I crash in my head, this is how I was thinking. At least if I crashed, I'm at the side of the track. I know I've got two. I've got my cousin and my dad on the track at some point as well. I'll be okay. So I was doped up on painkillers. I just filled myself full of painkillers, and I had kinesio tape over my back and stuff, just as a bit of support. Not that it was going to do anything for broken bones, but um, in my head, I felt confident it was doing something. So yeah, race started. Got the bike, cycled up the hill. I was doing all right cycling up the hill, under a bit of pressure. I just felt a bit stress in my back. Also, putting exertion through the pedals, so you're cycling a downhill bike uphill. I got to the bit where we dropped into the track just after the wall ride. Dropped in there, and cruising felt pretty good. And overtook a few people, which done wonders for my confidence. Got to the bottom. I was like, here we go. Jump on the gondola, go up, do one lap, and in the gondola on the way up, I'm having like a sense of doubt, but a sense of excitement, and I'm just thinking to myself, right, I'll cruise down for one lap, see how I feel, and we'll take it from there. If I'm in any pain, that'll be the end of the race. Anyway, countdown, and within a minute, I'm back into race mode. Battering through all the bumps, hitting the jumps, that kind of stuff, bank corners, over the tree roots. Got down at the bottom, and I was like, this is it, game on. Adrenaline's pumping, I felt zero pain. Back on the gondola, back to the top of the hill. And then I ended up doing the full race. I'd done 6 hours, and I finished 18th out 133, I think it was. With a broken back. So, in reflection, very, very stupid. I would not recommend doing that. And I would never do that again because I'm just aware of the consequences. But what came off of the back of it, no pun intended, what came off the back of it was Braw Beard. So once the race had finished, I was really happy. I was really satisfied that I'd finished the race, and I'd done what I set out to achieve. My achievement was to finish top 10. Naturally, being injured, I was happy to settle for top 20. I got 18th, so yeah, I was happy with that. But then I took, I forget how long it was. I took off the bike now, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months, something like that. I stopped riding the bike for that time to let my back heal. Um, and then in that time, I was getting treatment, recovery treatment, like sports massage therapy and stuff like that, from a guy called Richard White in Musselburgh, who is sadly no longer with us. But I was going there, I was getting acupuncture and that kind of stuff, deep tissue massage. Once the bones had started to settle, and it was working, it was feeling good. So Richard ran a school where he could teach these therapies. He'd teach different massage therapies and acupuncture, acupressure, all that kind of stuff. So like I had an understanding for the anatomy, just by racing. Like I done boxing when I was younger, karate, that kind of stuff. So I understood how the body works, and I understood that like I'd sort of knowledge on the muscles and the bones and what they were called and what they'd done. Um, so I was, naturally chatting to Richard about it during the sessions, and he's like, you know what, man, you've got a bit of knowledge there on anatomy. Do you want to study? Do you want to study like these massage therapies or sports therapy or whatever? I can teach you. And I was like, actually, aye, that'd be cool. Like, I'd love to do that. So I signed up to his courses, paid the fees, and I worked with Richard for maybe 3 years, I think it was, on it. Like I say, on and off. It was kind of part-time courses and stuff. Um, but one of the first courses was to make it. It was like a sports massage therapy. I forget what it's called, but it was like deep tissue massage because that's what I was getting at the time. And one of the courses, one of the exams at the end of the course was to make your own massage oils. So I, I was buying the essential oils for fragrances, and then some of them had decent muscle properties as well for like relaxing the muscles and bringing the increasing the blood flow and stuff like that. So I was getting essential oils, but I was also getting the base oils as well for massaging. And one of the ones we were using was hemp seed oil and then vitamin E oil as well. So I had stacks of these oils about the house just for the course. So I was making these massage oils. I was getting used to using the oils and understanding what they were about. And then I was aware my wife, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, Elaine, she was using hair oils. Obviously, just a conditioner for her hair, but it was like argan oil, jojoba oil, that kind of stuff. And it was expensive stuff. And I was like, well, I've got stacks of it sitting here. Let me make some and see if it works. So we did, played about with it, came up with some recipes and stuff, and they seemed to work. She was happy with them. And I had facial hair at the time. It was nothing like this. It was just like, I don't know, kind of short beard. I was like, you know what, if it works on her hair, maybe it works on beards. Beards are a lot more coarse than head hair. So I tried it. It felt pretty good. But then I was aware of the difference in the hair texture and stuff. So I was like, I need to make it different. I need to thicken up the oil a bit, play with the ratios. And I did. Like played with the ratios for a while, trying different ones. I had all these bottles lined up that were different, and then I'd try them and work with them for weeks and months, and then came up with this one I was really happy with, and it was hemp seed oil, jojoba oil, vitamin E, patchouli, and marjoram, and that became Wolver, the Braw beard oil that is now Wolver. That was that one. Um, so that was it. That was Wolver started. Wolver started this movement after the back injury. So that's kind of the story how Brawbeard started. It was racing mountain bikes, crashing my brains out, racing my broken back, and then signing up for massage therapy. The courses. Do know? I'm saying that I'm looking over there. I can still see my textbooks and stuff. They're on a shelf just over there. All my books from when I worked with Richard, which is really cool because I like to refer back to them because there's a lot of information in there about the oils and how they're beneficial for different things, like hair and skin, which I now obviously I'm not really bothered about the muscle properties anymore. I'm more bothered about the hair benefits and the skin benefits. So yeah, I still refer to them quite often. So yeah, that's kind of how it starts. That is how it started. That's how Rocket started. So I had this bottle of Wolver, and I just made a makeshift label. It was printed something on an A4, laminated it, and I had double sided tape. So laid the double sided tape out, laid the A4 sheet down, and then trimmed around it. I had like two or three, well, nah, maybe 8 labels at one sheet, I think. Stuck them to the bottle. They were really thick. I've actually got the bottle somewhere because I remember it was kind of like the copyright thing at the time. Send yourself your own product and don't open the package, and that's what I've done. So they still have the original labels on them, and I forget where they are. They are somewhere. I'll find them sometime. But yeah, they that's how it was done. And then started handing the oils out to people who had facial hair. Gave it to my cousin. He had a beard at the time. He still does. Gave it to him. Gave it to some friends. They tried it. Seemed to like it, and then just went down the journey of right. I need to build a website. One of my friends, he kind of knew how to build websites, so he built the first one for me, and then just started to snowball from there. So that's kind of the story how Brobbeer. Well, that is the story how Brobbeer started. Yeah, like I said, broken back to this, to where we are now, over 11 years later. Yeah, it's now beard care brand, beard business, the first in Scotland of its kind. Yeah, and still carving our own path, man. It's like the t-shirt that we just released is called "We Made Our Own Way." I'm actually wearing it just now. But it's "We Made Our Own Way," and that's just a nod back to starting from scratch. There was no beard care brands in Scotland. There was one in England at the time. After I made the product and I started to sell it, then I decided to do a bit of research because, like I said, it all started by accident. It wasn't like I was going to create this product and have this marketing strategy and research and development, all that shit. I was just like, I made this. It works. I'll sell it. So, got the insurance, got the safety assessments, all that stuff sorted. Then we got it on the website and, it just started to sell. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. You just got to try it and it seemed to work. And I had no template to follow. I was not a businessman. There was no other beard care brands, like I said, other than one in England, but there was a totally different style. And so I'd no one to replicate. I just had to make it up as I go along and learn. And that's the whole point of that t-shirt, is we made our own way, because there's so many brands out there now. Some are killing it, some are doing amazing, and then some are just jumping on it to try and make a quick buck, and they're failing. And it's just the nature of things. It's just the nature. It's just the way it goes. So yeah, it's just a wee nod to the fact that we had to carve our own path, which I'm quite proud of. So yeah, here we are, 11 years later, still having fun. Still having fun. I don't really race mountain bike. Oh, I don't race mountain bikes anymore. I've not ridden a mountain bike for a long time. But yeah, we'll see. I might get back on one at some point. So yeah, that is the Braw Cast, man. It's like I said, it was an update. I wanted to give you a wee insight to how the brand started, just because I'm aware there's new people following the brand now, and we are, what time are we in? Half an hour deep. So yeah, it's just an update. Just an update. So the broadcast will be back in some shape or form. I'm going to be doing some episodes. Billy's going to be doing some episodes. We'll do some episodes together in the build up to the Brawbeard Weekender in February. And tickets are available for that at thebrawbmc.com if you want to come along. It's going to be class. Right, now is the awkward part. I always noticed that Billy, at the end of each episode, he would try and hit a button to set off the outro while looking at the screen, making eye contact. And when I look at the camera making eye contact, I cannot see that button. So now I understand his struggle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the button and be totally transparent about it. Say my goodbyes, hit the button, and call this a day. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the broadcast. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any guests that you would like to see on the show. Like I said, we're going to be interviewing people from the beard community, the alternative lifestyle community, all different sports, that kind of stuff. We'll be interviewing some of the Braw athletes, that kind of thing. And just interesting people. Just get some chat going. And then there might be episodes where it's just me talking like this. Maybe Billy doing his side of things, just about comedy or talking like this, giving updates. Or maybe just me and Billy. We will see. We will see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this just now. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. That's the thing, actually, right? Before I go, I wasn't really going to mention this, but it's been ticking over in my head since I started chatting about the mountain bike thing. So every now and again, Brawbeard gets some media coverage, right? Just with things that's happening, like the championships, or when we hit our 10-year anniversary, we got some media coverage, which is really cool. I love featuring in newspapers or the TV or whatever, right? It's really, really cool. But that attracts a lot of attention, and also attracts a lot of negative attention, right? So, we get haters now and again. I usually deal with it. I've got quite a thick skin. But this one tickled me, man. It was on Newsweek. Newsweek's a online publication. It's based in New York, and they wanted to interview me for the 10-year anniversary. So we done the interview. I told the backstory in less depth than what I've just told you, but I told the how the brand got started, the crash, and then a race 2 weeks later. I told that story. And there were some people in the comments, man, afterwards, they were saying, "Oh, just why are we giving this guy praise? He shouldn't have been racing. He would have been a burden on the health service." And like, give me all this heat for actually doing something, taking a risk and actually doing and achieving something. I was getting all this hate saying he should never have risked himself like that. Imagine what that would have cost the taxpayer. Listen, man, it's like I wanted to reply to this guy, but I didn't, just for I couldn't be bothered with the heat. But these type of people, the type of people who like leave comments like that, they take zero risks in life. They just like to project themselves onto other people. Their insecurities they project on other people. What I wanted to reply was, I bet the riskiest thing you have done is sit on your sofa, drink a double espresso just to make yourself feel alive, and fart. That's the riskiest thing you've done. Had a strong coffee and tried to fart. See if you shat yourself. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. So if you ever get any online hate, man, just remember it's it's people projecting their insecurities on you. And it's like, if you like, I know there's a lot of people in the extreme sports world that follow Braw, right? And I'm talking about adrenaline sports like snowboarding, mountain biking, motorcycle racing, motocross, skateboarding, MMA, mixed martial arts, that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of boxers, that kind of thing. There's a lot of people in those disciplines follow Braw Beard, all right? Because that's my lifestyle as well. People radiate it because they relate to it. There's something in common. If you are in that world, you will know that many of these athletes walk around with broken bones. They compete with broken bones. Maybe not broken backs, but broken collarbones. I know motorcycle racers for a fact have raced with broken backs. I know them personally. It's just what you do. And it's just what we do, should I say. In that world, it's just what they do. It's that racing mentality. And it's, people say you'll be a burden on the NHS. It's like, no, we'd go private. A lot of these guys who put themselves in those positions have private healthcare for that reason. It's just that, people choose to make their own decisions. And you never know what comes off the back of it. Like this, race with a broken back. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I wouldn't do it again. But this is where we ended up. Creating a beard care brand. Creating a beard care scene in Scotland. And it's a lot of people aren't aware of that. Like Braw Beard were an integral part of the beard care scene in Scotland. Or the beard scene in Scotland. First beard care brand. First beard championships. A beard competition. I called it the championships because I thought I wanted it to be cool. So there you go. Fuck the haters. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to go. I'm going to wrap this and stay safe. I've got a cheeks tonight. Stay safe. Anyway, stay safe. Take care of yourself, and I will see you at some point. We will see how the broadcast is coming along. As I say, I've got a meeting with Billy in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll take it from there. See ya.